tragic death of NBA legend Kobe Bryant. ABC News confirming the 5-time NBA champion for the Los Angeles Lakers was among 5 people killed when a helicopter crashed and caught fire in Southern California.
Heartbreaking news, Kobe Bryant and his daughter, his 13-year-old daughter, Gianna, passed away in a helicopter accident in Calabasas early Sunday morning. It is heartbreaking.
Just get back up again. Just get back up again. Just get back up again when you fall. And I'm make a fool for it. You gon' need a natural to lose the boy. Roger, you a tool, boy.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to 30 Something and Verging. I am your host, your favorite bougie auntie, Loves Key, and I am so excited to have you out here on my very first podcast. My podcast is a podcast about life, its quirks, and all of the things that we are on the verge of. It's going to be a fun, loving podcast. Going to talk about some of everything. Talk about life struggles, talk about things that we're trying to do, entrepreneurship, a plethora of things. My first couple of podcasts, though, are going to be focused on like understanding your worth, being excited about who you are. Next week, that podcast will be about entrepreneurship, and we'll just be working in and out, doing some different things. So I'm excited that you all are here with me. You're in my dining room in Houston, Texas. This podcast means a lot to me because it is going to allow me the opportunity to give people some insight into who I am as a person, and also provide you all with some support, help, and love where you need it. Today's podcast is going to talk about understanding your worth and understanding how your worth equals currency. I thought about this for a long time. For the past year and a half, if you ever follow me on any social sites, sometimes when I'm talking about something myself, or if there's a post that I post and it's something talking about pushing yourself or doing something better, I always put pound worthy in there, right? And it's about just making sure that you realize how worthy you are, how worthy you are of being treated properly, how worthy you are of being loved, how worthy you are of actually loving yourself and caring about yourself, how worthy you are to set boundaries and be okay with setting those boundaries, and being okay if people fall off because they can't stand up to those boundaries, right? And I wanted to start off by actually talking about what the word worth means. And I'm using the word because I want us to make sure we really get into the nitty gritty of it. The value equivalent to that of someone or something under consideration. The level at which someone or something deserves to be valued or rated. Now, I want to take back the rated portion. I don't want us to think about like somebody rating us and giving us like, oh, she a 10 or she a dime. But I want us to take this and understand where we are at as a people or person, right? Like really think about who we are. Thinking about how you value yourself or what you rate yourself. Understanding that the better you treat and love yourself, the better everyone else will treat and love you and respect you. I have a really tight-knit group of friends, and all of us, we love to like crack on each other, but we are all very supportive of each other, and we are like, we understand worth as currency in many different ways. And I'm going to call one of my friends to join in on this conversation. She is a self-made woman. She's an entrepreneur. She loves helping others. She's very supportive. So I'm going to give her a ring, and I'm going to bring her in this conversation so that you just don't hear me. But again, I want to say before I get her on the phone, welcome to my first podcast ever. There will be plenty more to come. They will happen each Friday for the next month or so. And then after that, we're going to start doing them twice a week. So be on the lookout for them. And when you see these podcasts come up, please click, listen, and share. All right. And we're going to be on all platforms, Spotify, Apple, everywhere. I will be everywhere. All right, so I'm gonna call this friend up. Hello, may I speak with Lakisha, please?
Hello.
All right, everyone. This is one of my best friends, and I don't use the word friend lightly. Some people like to throw their word out. Oh, that's my friend, or da da da. You know, everybody or sis, right? And I'm thinking about my my students at school. They be like, "That's my bro. That's my son." Come on. But anyway, this is one of my friends. You know, God, the Bible tells us, you know, like you find a friend, you found something like really, really great. And I'm blessed to have a few good friends. And Lakeisha Backus White, I'm gonna stick with just White. I'm not gonna crack a joke on my first podcast. Is here with us. Lakeisha, how are you?
Hello, everyone.
How are you doing today?
I'm just fine. And how are you all?
I'm great. I think the people in the podcast world are doing just fine as well. You know, I'm calling you to talk about the podcast. I want to first off talk to you about our first topic. And the first big topic is worth. Thinking about what it means to understand your worth and know that you're worthy of being treated a particular way. When did you first recognize that understanding your worth and who you were as a woman and person would equal like a currency and opportunity for you?
For me, I really honestly, all my life, I've known my worth. As a young child, I've always taught my place in life. So understanding my worth is something I've been known all my life. Now, have I accepted it? Have I, what do you call it? I've accepted it my whole life, but
Have you
pretty
lived
much
in it?
stood to it? Yeah, went with it? No. You know, we do what we want to do. You know, that's what we do as people. So,
And when you say we do what we want to do, what are you saying? Like, we will, I know I should be treated X, Y, and Z, but ooh, he's so fine, I still want to be with him like that. Or I know I should be working for myself, but I don't want to deal with the headache of having employees, so I'm going to be somebody else's employee and help them live their dream and I live mine. Like, what do you mean?
meaning that, you know, we make choices, and some choices, we know what's right and wrong. However, we choose to make choices depending on how we're feeling at the moment. So, certain moments, you know, you may water down your standards or your worth, you know, try to fit in or, you know, pretty much try to make other folks happy.
Okay. And when you did things like that, how did that make you feel? What was the outcome? Like when you would say water down something or like dim your light to let someone else shine because their ego was crushed if they weren't able to shine.
Just like anything else, you know, pretty much it makes you feel good at the moment. However, you know the lifelong consequences of it.
You say you know what, Kisha, the lifelong consequences of it?
Yeah, you're not pretty much taking your full potential. You know what you're supposed to do. You know, we go and do what we want to do at the moment because that feels good to us.
Okay, so I remember when I first met you, you were doing hair at the time, and we were both working at the casino together, which was a great job. Shout out to Horseshoe Casino in Tunica, Mississippi, Robinsonville, Mississippi. We both worked there, and you could do hair, and you could really do hair well, but because it was so tiresome and you got tired of people, you stopped doing hair. And I feel like that was the first time that I saw you recognize your worth. From me knowing you personally, what was it like to like say like, you know what, even though I went to school for this and I did this growing up as a kid, I'm not gonna do this anymore. What was it like to like step away from that?
Hair was my passion for as long as I can really remember. Probably like 3-4 years old. I was doing my hair, planning my hair. I don't even want to talk about this on air anyway. So, but hair has been my passion. However, when we was working there, I had a family. Like, I know that I could have progressed doing hair. Lord knows I want to go back to it now, I think. But back then, it was the fact of being on other folks' schedule. And so I knew I needed dependability, stability, and everything else because I had 2 small kids. So at the point when you met me, I was working 2 jobs. And I was still doing hair. That was like my side hustle or whatever. However, my schedule was kind of conflicted because I was working there and I was working third shift. I had a newborn, so I had to realize, like, what's this for me? So at that point, I had to pull away from doing hair as much to focus on making sure I had a income for me and my kids to keep, provide for us. So I pretty much pulled away, and I think and I may have ran from it a little bit because, like I said, I was in my passion, but at the point I was like, I gotta work, I gotta do this, this, and this to make sure that I can provide for my children. So just for people not really valuing my schedule, like if I say I need you here at 12, they come at 1, I have to be at work at a certain time. It was not working for me, and I couldn't mess up what I had guaranteed for a possibility. So that's how I pushed away from, because I need that guaranteed income, and working my job for my guaranteed income. I knew what I was getting every week or every 2 weeks. Versus me, Samantha's gonna come through. I have her down for so, and then they don't show up, and then one person throw you off schedule and it throws off the whole schedule. And I couldn't have that because, again, I needed to make sure I was able to provide for my kids. And one loose thing, then I was throw it off for the rest of the day, and then miss up my whole schedule. Could have possibly made me late for work, pick up my kids and anything else. So eventually I just steered away from it all the way. But
all right, and now you are, and I want you to correct me because I know I'm going to say this incorrectly because I can't really think of the complete title, but I think about maybe, how long have you been doing the catering? Has it been like the last 5 years?
It'll be 5 years in March.
It'll be 5 years in March.
So we're close.
Okay, so I was right about that almost. And then last year you were one of Memphis's, what was the title that you received last year at that banquet?
I was the Ladies of Distinction, Women That Lead in Business.
Women That Lead in Business. So after a tragic accident at one of her jobs at the airport, Kisha was left to find a different route, a different way to manifest money, to come up with money, to provide. And as you heard, my intro is the great Nipsey Hussle, rest in peace, Hustle and Motivate. And in this thing, when you're dealing with your worth and understanding your worth, a part of that is hustling and motivating yourself and others. You hustle and motivate yourself to push yourself to be and do better. And you also hustle and motivate those people around you, right? Like to help them want to do better, want to be better, want to see something different. And Lakeisha actually started cooking out of that. And she was cooking while she was actually not supposed to be on her feet because she had been run over by a machine, and she was actually and then she had a car accident too. So the car accident caused her to be in one boot, and then when she got ran over by the machine at work, she got put in the second boot. So she was in 2 boots, and she began her business in her kitchen, and it's called Kisha's Kitchen. So if you are in the Memphis, Tennessee area, please make sure you holler at Kisha's Kitchen and get you some good tasty food, a good spud, some chicken wings and things like that. But I want Kisha to talk about that. I want you to talk about that moment, like when you decided, shit, like I'm in a boot. And I really want you to think about, because how I'm thinking about it and how I'm seeing it right now is like how God put you in that predicament. One, you have a car accident, you're in a boot. The second thing, you have an accident at work, you're in another boot. And the only thing that you can do is use something that you love to do, which is cook, to get your money, to provide for your family. What was that experience like going into that?
Okay. Have you ever, we all heard the term, your pain pushes your purpose.
Yes.
So for years, for the first, because I think when I was injured, that was 2 years in. I pretty much was doing it on the weekend and once I got off work. again, I was still working 2 jobs. And it was the people at work that was like, you can do this, why you don't do this full time? And I use them as my guinea pig. Like, I don't do dessert, but I had started making dessert, and I use them as my guinea pig. And they was like, well, why you don't think you can do this on your full time? I think you make enough money, you can do this. And I'm like, no, I'm not ready. And really, I'm still working 2 jobs. I ended up having 2 deaths back to back. My daughter lost her dad, and my other daughter lost her grandmother. So at that point, I really was like, I need to spend more time with my kids because most of my kids are learning. So I pretty much walked away from a full-time job and took a part-time job, and that's how I ended up at the airport. So I took a part-time job in hopes of being able to travel more with my kids because we were going to have flight benefits. I took this job at the airport, and I was like, everything going to work out. We just going to do this. I'm going to push the business. I'm going to do this part-time. Therefore, I can be there with my kids more. We can travel and we can enjoy life. Because, again, we had just had 2 deaths back to back, and life is too short to really sit back and just sit still. It's time to create moments. And all my life, me and my kids, all while they've been here, we've been creating moments. I've always worked 2 jobs, but I made sure we had our evenings together. We went to the movies. We didn't do nothing but go get ice cream on Wednesdays at CCBY, I think it was. I think $1.99 ice cream, $1.50 something. It was something, I can't remember. That was some years ago, but we would go to get ice cream on Wednesday. We'd go to church on Tuesday. We'd go to the movies on Thursday. We always did something, regardless of the fact. So people said, like, I work too hard, I don't have time. You make time for what's important to you. Those 2 kids of mine, that's what's important to me. So regardless of how tired I was, I
With
made
a
time
bad butt.
whatever. Anyhow, so I made time for my kids. That was my main focus. So going to the airport it was their fault. I did that to them. Went there 3 months in, and when I started, I got injured. But as I got injured, I couldn't walk. So my sister held it down for me for about 2 weeks while I got myself together because I got ran over by the equipment, and it pretty much messed up my left side, from my foot up to my hip. So how it ran me over, my foot was broken, my toe was broken, so I was in the booth with that, and then it injured my knee and my back. So I went from there, and like 2 weeks, I said she held it down for me. I came back, and probably shouldn't have been working, but again, I had 2 miles. I had 3 really with my dad. So I had people that were depending on me, so I couldn't sit still. So in the process of that, I was pushing. Going over beyond business was doing great. I had customers, I had deliveries, and I was never sitting still. And I was injured, but I was on my feet all day long, probably 18 hours a day. Lack of sleep. When I say I worked all day long, I was in pain all night long. So I really probably got about 2 hours of sleep because my body was in shock once I sat down because I was supposed to be sitting down anyhow, but I couldn't sit down because of the situation. So at night, I was in shock. My body took hours to relax because I was doing too much that I shouldn't have been doing, but I had to do because I didn't have, Aflac or whatever. It was just me. So I didn't have nothing where I was injured and I was going to pay me while I was down. I was my own boss at that moment. So I had to do what I had to do. My job was not paying me. What they thought was working comp was a joke. So it was on me to do what I had to do because at the end of the day, I still had bills that had to get paid. I still had kids I had to provide for. So I did that. And one Friday morning, I had big orders everywhere. And I had delivered. I had one person out on delivery. I was headed out on delivery, pulled out my driveway. And I lied and said it a fly flew across, and I tried to panic. Well, in actuality, I actually blacked out because of lack of sleep and doing too much.
You want to say this on the podcast, sis?
Oh, it's fine. That was years ago. And I hit 2 parked cars. 4 houses down from my house. I hit 2 parked cars. And, they say you supposed to put your seatbelt on. No, I'm right down the street from the house. If I would have had my seatbelt on, I probably wouldn't have been able to get out of the car. But at that moment, I thank God He saved me. So from that injury, I was already in the booth, hopped out the car because I seen smoke, so I thought I was about to blow. I hopped out the car. You just hop. I literally had to hop really because the other foot was broken. So I was already injured on one leg, and I was hopping on the other leg. And the ambulance, the police was looking at me like I was crazy. And the people who car hit, it's crazy. Anyway, that pushed me. I had to go harder. So, I had a lot to deal with. But I had some more responsibility fell up on me because I had just threw up two people's cars because I was neglecting myself, trying to do what I had to do. So that pretty much that was it. That's what my pain. When I say your pain pushes you to your purpose, because if I would have never got hurt, I probably would have still been working there and not pursuing my business. So my pain pushed me to my purpose. Me being injured, it held me down for a minute. It kept me down for a minute, but then I had to jump up like, hey, this is what we're going to do. If I'm on there, I blocked them. And that's where the beginning of Kisha Kitchen really came from. Because at that point, I went full time. I went at it. I went hard. And I built a name that everybody knows. Folks like, oh, I've had your stuff. I don't even want to talk, but people just I've ran into like, oh, I had your stuff, da 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 da. I love it because I always been pretty known, but like now I'm known for something else. I used to be known as the party girl. Now I'm just known as that girl can cook. That girl make those fire ass potatoes. And I probably shouldn't say that on earth, but I'm known as that girl now versus that party girl.
Yeah.
So it feels good to be known for a different reason now.
Oh my God. To be known for a different reason, right? Like it's nothing wrong with being known to be Tina Turner.
I mean, I was just a party girl. I wasn't out smoking and drinking like that. I just a lot of the life of the party.
Yeah.
Let me rephrase it because I don't want nobody thinking like, no, I was the life of the party.
She didn't mean like party girl, like
I was the life of the party.
Gucci Mane. I think I love her. No, she's not talking about that.
They did now.
They still do, friend. They still do. But what she's saying is like she used to go out. Well, I think I used to go out. Kisha brought me out of my shell. We met in 2005. I've always been like this little quiet.
May 31st, 2005.
It's our anniversary. Yeah, Kisha brought me out of my shell. She made me realize a part of my worth. Not all of it, but just like thinking about like, Akilah, you deserve to go out and have fun and do X, Y, and Z and like just live. I wasn't scared. I just didn't want to do certain things. I'm like sort of a recluse with certain stuff. And Kisha would be like, oh, well, let's go do this. And I'm like, I won't go stand over there. I won't go stand up in this club. But it would be fun to go and do. Right? And then when we began talking again, was that 2014 or 2013?
When we started back?
Yeah. Because we started talking, I think, after you didn't call me when
Kadesha
Daddy died. You didn't call me then. You called me after Gene died.
You called me after the accident. You said you heard that I was, no, Gene died first. You called me after the accident. You texted something and you said, are you okay? I think you seen Christina posted something on Facebook. And then you hit me up after that. So it's pretty much August of 2016.
2016. Oh, I said 2014.
It was 16.
Look at God. Look at God. But then thinking about all of that, right? Thinking about your worth and you understanding that now, I think I can say from like listening to Kisha, because I'm like, I don't know what you and your friends do, but my friends and we are always like, we might crack some jokes on the phone and we may talk about our business, but we're always talking about plans and businesses, right? This past year, I nominated myself to be Kisha's director of HR, and I found her 2 employees. They worked out for a little bit, and then they stopped working out. But we always like talk about businesses, and Kisha knows, like, I've been talking about for years, like writing a book and doing public speaking and doing all this stuff. But I was always afraid, and it was never, I don't think it's anything that anyone else had ever put on me per se. It was just like certain actions and feelings that I got from other people that I was like, they're not gonna buy this, they wouldn't do that, they wouldn't do X, Y, and Z. And last year, I started doing this stuff for Love Allure, my boutique that will be opening in the summer of 2020. And I went and I got my EIN number. I went and got my paperwork, my business license for out here in Houston. I did all of that. And then certain things started happening. You know, life. I'm a school teacher. I'm a GOC at the school. Really, really busy. Then traveling a lot back and forth home and doing different stuff. And let some stuff slip through the cracks. But I was like, you know what? I'm not going to end the year without having something, because I was planning on actually dropping the clothing store first. So I like have different stuff for the clothing store. I have a sign for like my pop-up shops. I have my business cards. And then some things, I like had an accident at the end of December, like stuff just kept happening. But my production manager, who is also my 11th grade English student, Anthony Edwards, he was always talking to me about his business. He's like, Miss Miles, you know, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. Like he does photography for real estate. He takes pictures, period. He is the production manager for KIPP Sunnyside's campus. So this little 16-year-old child was talking to me about his business, and I thought about the conversations that I had with all of my friends, including Kisha. And I was like, Keely, you got to push through this, even though you have hit a couple of stumbling blocks. So I had Anthony create me a video, and I knew that I wasn't going to have a whole lot of things coming out right then, but I was like, if I create this video, like I'm showing myself, like, Akilah, you didn't put a stamp on it. You said you're going to make sure that you do X, Y, and Z. And I got the video created. We started off like this one idea, and it kept morphing into other things. Like he'll send me something, I'd be like, well, ooh, what if we do this? Or what if we add that? And all of that, at that time, I was recognizing my worth. And I was like, oh, maybe I shouldn't do this. And I remember like sending clips to Kisha and Marquita and saying like, am I doing too much? Am I being extra? And even asking Anthony, like, you know, like I know the only thing that's getting ready to drop is this book. And I know the clothing line is not going to come out right now. And, you know, like, I know, like, the book is going to drop, and I got to get the stuff for the podcast and X, Y, and Z. And everybody was like, no. Anthony was like, Miss Miles, do it. Keisha's like, no, dummy, you ain't doing too much. And Marquita was like, you're not doing enough. You need to have more stuff out. So Anthony put together a beautiful 1:34 video talking about all the things that I had coming out. And that was, again, me hustling and motivating myself, right? A lot of people like were saying little things. They were saying, I got a lot of great comments, right? But some people were thinking about like, oh, she putting this out trying to stunt, And what a motherfucker don't know is I put that out totally for me. I'm thankful for all the things that people said, the great motivation that they gave me, but that is a motivator for me. If you have seen it, or if you go on my page, it's still there. It said the book was going to drop on December 31st. Everything that I'm doing from my clothing line, just like Lakeisha, like how Kisha started like with this by herself. She didn't have a business manager or anything like that. She's doing all of this and making herself knowledgeable on her own. Right, Kisha? You did like majority of this stuff on your own, from cards and all of that, right?
Yeah.
So now I'm like doing the book stuff, and I'm doing it through KDP. Then I get on KDP, and so much stuff was so difficult. And if you see my production manager right now, he's laughing because he's like, hell yes, Miss Miles, we had a time with KDP. But I was doing the ebook first. I knew I was going to do that first. And on the 31st, my god sister Marquita and I, we were here, we were working, because she came out here because we were going to go to dinner, because the book was supposed to drop at midnight. So we were going to go to dinner to celebrate. And about 11:30, I was like, fuck this shit. Because it was like another error popped up. So when you are uploading a book to any site, it's going to ask you to look at different things, like check the margins, check your errors, check spell check, and all of that. Like it does that, but then it's going to tell you to launch your book so you can actually see what it looks like. And oh my God, like I launched the dang on book, and it was like so many errors and different stuff. I was like, wait a minute, it wasn't an error over here, but now it's an error over here. And I told my queen, I was like, fuck it, we finna go to lunch. We finna go eat. Let's go. Let's find somewhere to go eat. And we got ready to go eat. That place was closed because it was New Year's Eve. So we wound up going to Waffle House. And we finished up some stuff before I left. And it said, well, the book isn't going to drop today, but it'll drop on January 2nd. My favorite number is 3. So I was like, okay, let's drop on January 2nd. Then when we came back and we were looking at some stuff trying to fix it, it was like, it was saying it was still a couple of errors. And I was like, Marquita, I'm just so over this. Like, I'm a perfectionist and I get irritated faster. And when I get irritated, it's horrible. Like, I'm a good person. But when I get irritated, it is over. So we talked, I worked through the problems, and then it was like I uploaded it on January 2nd when I finally got all of the errors out, all of the kinks. My book cover was good. Everything was cool. They didn't have any problems with it. I uploaded on January 2nd. When you upload, it tells you that it takes 72 hours. And I was like, shit, Marquita, it's not even going to drop on the 3rd. The 3rd is my number. It got to drop. And I woke up the next day and looked. I said, let me just get on here and look. And it was like, your book is live. And I was just so excited because my book had dropped. And I've always wanted, like, I've been published in 3 different anthologies. I published like 3 different poems when I was in college. But like, to have your own book, not be in anyone else's anthology, like somebody else's work and they just using yours, you know, like, instead of like, you know, I was sort of like an artist on DJ Khaled's album, but but now I am DJ Khaled, you know, and I have my book myself. So dropping that book on the 3rd, it was like solidification for me, and it was like another push to keep going. And then came the paperback. Dun dun dun. Like, there's so many issues with this paperback, but God placed Anthony in my life for a reason, because we had all type of errors going on. They goddamn book cover. The book cover was a shit show. Understand? Like, the book cover that my other student, Mia, did, she's another great student that I have, the book cover that she created, for some reason, it would not work for the paperback. It just would not work at all. We tried it in 50 million different ways. And Anthony had been working on it last week, I think, right? It was last week. He was working on it. And on my way home, he sent it to me. I snapped it. I was like, oh my God, Anthony sent me the new file. I'm uploading it. And I was driving. I was in Louisiana uploading. I'm doing 75, uploading whatever. Pop up, it's another error. Finally, that Tuesday when we got back to school, Anthony sat down and he did it on his Mac. And his Mac saved my life, because now the book is ready to be published. So that is extremely awesome. Like, and all of that, like thinking about my worth and understanding it, I had to push myself to like want to do it even more, like consistently. Be thinking about Akilah, like, you always pushing your students. You always telling them that mediocrity is not an option. You got to make sure that you don't settle either. So, Kisha, one more question that I want you to think about when dealing with worth, and then we're going to get ready to close out in a few minutes. When we think about worth, what do we think about? How do we need to set boundaries in relationships? And I don't mean just with a man and a woman, but like relationships, period. Thinking about how we love each other, like as friends, especially as friends, because I feel like my friend Kisha, like, this my girl, this my boo. But I be wanting to like smack her sometime, y'all, because like some stuff she just be letting get just go out the way. And we just can't let everything go out the way. So, and maybe Akilah needs to be slapped because she just be like, I ain't with this shit. So, Kisha, what boundaries do you set in making people understand your worth and know, like, this is an opportunity to be in my space, and it's also an opportunity for me to be in your space? So how we connect with each other? How do you set those boundaries?
Okay, first let's go back to you on the smack me. So you're an aggressor now?
My laptop, my iPad, my camera at 4%. Okay.
I'm sorry. What did you say, Lakeisha?
I said let's go back to you on the smack me. So I'm an aggressor. You're an aggressor now?
No, I'm not an abuser. I'm not an abuser. I will not let you put that label on me, ma'am. I will not do that. But I don't mean literal smack. I mean metaphorical smack.
You mean smack some sense into me?
Yes, ma'am. Yes. You are correct.
Okay.
You are correct.
Okay, I'll take that then. Okay. As far as relationships,
don't just speak on men.
I'm not speaking. I'm not studying men. I'm talking about this right here: friendship, business, et cetera, et cetera. You have to set those standards. You have to know, first of all, you can't go into nothing where you're doing most of everything. So that means if you're being a friend and you're there for that person more than they're ever there for you, and it's not monetary or you won't return favors or anything. It's just being a friend. You know, you have some people that call you every time they're in the bind or they got problems, and you be like, oh, what she want? he done made her mad again. But you can't never talk about what's going on with you. I mean, it's not about what you can do, but if you're listening, I need you to be able to listen sometimes and actually give me advice. Or don't just come to me for advice. So you got to see, you can't have one person that's mentally draining you. So that goes both ways for both relationships. So I know what I bring to the relationship. I know what I bring to the friendship. I know what I bring to whatever. And if I know my worth, I know that I'm good. I'm good to people better than they ever will be to me. So I've ended a lot of friendships. Some came back. Now some hanging around looking over the fence trying to see what I'm doing. But you know what I'm talking about. So somebody was ticked, so I was gonna get loud. Anyhow, so with that being said, everybody, I even had a friendship where I was like, you know what, this year, I don't want to be this person's friend no more. Lord, please show me a sign. And with that being said, I'm the craziest person ever with the signs that God sent me. He really got to have some signs that's going to hit me in my face like, you better wake your ass up. You get what I'm saying? But I've had folks that are like, I don't want to go into this year with this person. I think, or I'll be like, you know how you feel? You feel like, nah, I don't think. You know, I really feel like they using me or they this and this. You know, they just here to ride my wave or whatever. So once you realize that and who's there for you and who's just there to ride your wave, you're better off. So, I'm doing this and this person right here. Man, they don't answer the phone when they know I'm doing something for them. Or they... I'm sorry, hung up on me. Hello? Are you
Hello?
there?
Hello? Yeah, I'm here.
What happened?
I'm sorry. I made a mistake and turn my mic off. I apologize. 'Cause I was drinking water. My bad.
I'm sorry. My phone switched over to my Bluetooth. I was holding the phone. Okay. So, what I'm saying is, people are there, but they're not there for you. Those type of people, you have to cut them loose. Their friendship, relationship, anything else. If you're there for them more than they're there for you, sometimes you gotta let that go. Or you gotta let them see what they're gonna miss while you're gone. So, I mean, not just take a break from people sometimes. You know, if you feel like you're doing more than they're doing, take a break and let them evaluate what they have. And that's fair to do. It's very fair to do because you're gonna feel better in the long run.
How often do you find yourself doing that, Lakeisha?
What did you say, Key?
I said, how often do you find yourself? Do you really give people a break? Do you really give people a break?
I do give people a break. Whether it's a fallout or whatever. Like I said, some are blessed to come back. Some, I don't even want to go that route again. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's a misunderstanding. Sometimes... Yeah,
because we fell out. We had a misunderstanding or whatever, and whatever we did.
Yeah. So, it's a misunderstanding. And sometimes it's good. Now, speaking on a misunderstanding, it's good to know why, you got into it. Don't just cut nobody off like, I don't want to talk to them no more.
Girl, I asked somebody that yesterday. Oh my God, I asked somebody that yesterday. Like, why? I was like, you stop talking to me just out the blue. You did something to me. Nigga, stop lying. But anyway, I get what you're saying. Give somebody the courtesy, especially when you're older. I feel like sometimes kids don't know how to do that. Give people the courtesy of explaining what the problem was. But when you're an adult, you need to be able to hold an adult conversation and be like, the bullshit you did was not called for, or what you did, I did not like. Right. And again, to me, that's knowing your worth and especially knowing the worth, not just of you, but of your friendship. What type of bond y'all have. I feel like with the friends that I have, we have such strong bonds and we do so many different things for each other and help each other in so many different ways that I'm not just going to stop now. At this age, I'm not just going to stop talking to y'all about some BS. I might fuss or say whatever, because quick, if I call your punk ass and you got 80 million things going on in the background, I'm going to quickly hang up because you talking to 15 million people, you got 80 things going on, but I ain't mad. I'm just let me let her handle her business or right? And people don't understand that. People haven't gotten to that level of understanding where I need to be able to cool off, and I also need to be able to say what caused the problem. And all of that is in understanding and knowing your worth.
Yes, sir.
Well, Kisha, it was great to have you on our very, very first podcast on 30 Something and Verging. We just opened up the mic today to talk about worth and understanding your worthiness and how you should be treated and what you should do. Please, please, please like the 30 Something and Verging page. Please share the link when you see it pop up. We are on all platforms, and we are so thankful that you all were here and excited to move forward and have you all continually listen and promote our podcast. Kisha, you want to have any final words?
Yes, I do have something to say. Since we're speaking on worth, Akilah, because you have all these projects you're going through, all these projects that you're about to launch this year.
It's only three. It's only three.
Those are a lot. It's a lot. It's okay. But you, with that being said, I'm going to say this now, and I say this all the time to you, I think, but I'm saying it for everybody else. This is not negative. It's strictly positive. You got to understand that everyone is not going to be there for you like you're there for them. That's another part of understanding your worth. Don't get mad if the people that's closest to you are not supporting you like you expect them to. Your biggest supporters are going to be strangers. And I'm telling you this now, early in the game, because you're going to be like, what you thought I wanted? But I was there for this. Don't worry about that. What God got for you is for you. Don't worry about what the next person's doing. Don't worry about the next person they not spending with you. Don't worry about the next person not sharing your stuff. Because you've done all that for other folks. So you just supported everybody's business. You've been there sharing everybody's posts. You done prayed for folks. You da. Don't worry about that, because you just got to remain focused. Keep your eyes on the prize, which is what we're launching this year. Keep your eyes on the prize. And surround yourself, now listen, surround yourself with people that's where you are or where you're trying to be.
Always.
Because
always.
And that's key for everybody, because we'll be out there, we'll be sharing our plans with people that don't have a vision at all. And what God gave you, everybody don't understand if you keep that to yourself. Some of you keep to yourself. It's good to talk to your friends. It's good to talk to your friends, let them know what's going on, what you got going on. But you'll never let your right hand know what your left hand thinks. And I said it like I said it for a reason. I said it for a reason.
I know why you said it, but I've only this year, like when I decided to do this stuff, like in the middle of last year, like go full force with this, God told me to shut my damn mouth. He told me not to say anything to anybody. You remember me telling you that, right? Like he told me don't say nothing to nobody. Like that was the problem. I would start stuff and get so excited about it, and I would share it, and then people would take my ideas and then go and they would actually do it. Now, while we're just like the bread aisle, and there are so many different variations of bread, and everybody can get which bread they like. It's so many different podcasts. Everybody can get what they like or whatever. That's what was happening to me at that time. But it wasn't like out of malice, I don't believe. I just think it was like, they were like, oh, that's a good idea, and they did it. And then that then made me deter from whatever it was I wanted to do, and I didn't do it. When he told me to shut my mouth, I was quiet until I started like having like insight, was talking to you, and I talked to Marquita about certain things or whatever. I shared nothing with no one, and I'm gonna keep doing that because I don't want anybody to, one, take my idea, or two, pray against whatever it is I have going on. I don't want that. And I have been trying to make sure I'm surrounded by motivational people. And the crazy thing is that right now my motivation are my students, Mia and Anthony. Like Anthony especially, because Anthony is always got something to do. Anthony always had 15 jobs. But I really agree with what you're saying. Like I'm not gonna be stressed out about nobody sharing or liking nothing. Like it is what it is. What's for me, God got for me. Can't nobody have it. The man that I'm supposed to get, the kids I'm supposed to have, the life that I'm supposed to live, can't nobody get it but me. Can't nobody have it but me. So I ain't stressed out about it. It is what it is. And you can trust and believe that 30 something and Verging, oh, it's gonna pop. Love the Lord, it's gonna pop. Brown Eyes, it came out #1 the first 2 weeks it was out. That was the ebook. Wait till this paperback drop. It's gonna be ignorant. It's gonna be so crazy. You make sure you get 3. And if you listening, you make sure you buy 2 or 3 too. It's on.
You're right.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, Kisha, thank you so much for joining. And Anthony, thank you so much for being here with me tonight. Thank you all so much for listening and just listening in to us, just talking to each other, interview each other, question each other about worthiness. Please check back in with us on next Friday for our next podcast.
I can't believe how fast 20 years went by. I mean, this is crazy. This is absolutely crazy. And, you know, to be standing here at center court with you guys, my teammates behind me, and appreciating all this, you know, the journey that we've been on. You know, we've been through our ups and been through our downs. And I think the most important part is that we all stayed together throughout. You know, I grew up a diehard Laker fan. Diehard. I mean, I knew everything about every player that's ever played here. So to be drafted and then traded to this organization and to spend 20 years here, I mean, you can't write something better than this. What can I say? Mamba out.